And so I think it's important that you understand the clinical trial process. I'm not saying that the pill is bad. I just want you to think about how to make health decisions for yourself. You want to be especially vigilant, especially staying on top of it. Once I got the information I needed, I started to move in that direction about how to make health decisions for yourself.
In your mind, what would you say to brothers that's not vaccinated or just people in general?
I'm glad to hear you are protected, and thanks for being so honest here on Keeping It 100, because that's what we do. Oh, hey, y'all. Welcome to Keeping It 100, where we have these very open and honest conversations to make sure you know what you need to know to make good health decisions. I'm your host, Dr. Kristin Motley. Super excited to be here, especially coming off of the Healthier You Conference 2023. My co-host is here, Dr. Georgie Mink Jr., the street practitioner. What up, G?
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Why you saying good morning? It's the afternoon. What, you just getting your day started?
Oh, yeah, it is. Oh, man. Okay. Well, I'm off a little bit. It is the afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So let's just talk about the Healthier You Conference just a quick bit. It was a good day. Everybody had a good time. Lots of fun, lots of activities. What do you think about the day?
I mean, it was my first one. A great day. I mean, I seen the vision. I was a part of the vision. We brought our folks together for healthier choices and better decision making and processing, and it was good. I'm ready to work on next year's already.
We got 3 other events to do before we even do that one.
Okay.
I know we had some video of the conference. We can get that up. But yeah, it was nice, and it was everything that I wanted it to be. I've been doing this. This is my 4th one. This is the first time I was able to have it in Chester, so that made me really proud. I always wanted to have it in Chester. I got my flu shot. I tried to get flu and COVID, but I missed the COVID people. They left before I got back there, but I did sneak in my flu shot. But just shout out to everybody that came together to make the day a huge success. It was definitely a team effort. I get a lot of credit, but it takes a whole village to pull off something like that. So thanks everybody for making it happen. And Les got her COVID shot that day. She didn't even know she got it. She's still waiting. I said, Les had to hear me say, get your COVID vaccine 152 times over the last 2 years in order to get her to sit there and finally get her shot. But I'm glad she's up to date.
Yeah, shout out to Les, big sis, little sis. Proud of her.
Yep. But yeah, so if you have not gotten your COVID shot, anybody that has never gotten it, it is not too late. There is a new formulation out for this new COVID variant that is currently in circulation, so you can get up to date. It only takes 1 shot. You can go to any pharmacy. If you don't have insurance, you can go to one of the chain pharmacies. They will administer the vaccine for free, and you can get your COVID and your flu shot together. It's all good. I would have gotten mine together, but I got there too late. So, Jay, are you up to date yet?
Whatever, Doc.
Whatever what?
About the new vaccination.
What you mean?
I thought you wasn't. I thought we was waiting.
Waiting for what? I told you I was waiting for the conference.
Oh, okay. I thought we was waiting for the numbers to pick up, but okay.
No, the wait is over. Okay. The wait is over. We're done. We're ready. Okay. We are definitely ready. It is time to get the vaccine. Okay. I would have gotten it, but they were already gone. So
me too.
I had missed my time slot.
My lights went out.
Jeez, you gotta get some movement. But yeah, so we're definitely going to bring that back next year. I'm working on sponsors. Anybody that want to sponsor or support the Healthier You Conference, we are collecting dollars at the door. So it is all good there. I wanted to talk a little bit. I saw a story. Nicki Minaj has shared that she was addicted to Percocet years ago. It was started from her having severe menstrual cramps. And then that turned into her becoming addicted. Her dad was a drug addict, so she experienced him being on and off drugs. I just thought it was a compelling story, and I'm glad that she came out and talked about it. G, what do you think?
I think if we can probably relate to, this to some of our own personal family issues or things in our family where we watch, certain people in our families go through the same thing. So, I mean, we all can relate to some kind of way. It might not have been, it could be painkillers, alcohol, pretty much anything as to cope with something that you're dealing with. So,
Yeah,
I definitely
hers
can.
started with Percocet. Yeah, hers started with Percocet to deal with the pain of her menstrual cramp. She said that she didn't know that it was a narcotic and that it could cause addiction. And I'm just glad that she came and talked about it. And it was really timely because the holiday season's coming up. We know that substance abuse increases around the holidays. And so that's why we have an amazing guest on today, Adavia Porter Helen. She has a master's of arts and resident in counseling. She's a nationally certified counselor. She's a substance abuse counselor. She has over 18 years of experience in working with young people and families, long-term care, like outpatient and inpatient. She just does it all. She's amazing. I'm very excited to have her on the show with us today. Davia, come on into the show, girl. There she is.
Yeah,
Good
Welcome.
afternoon.
how
Thank
you
you for
doing? How
having
you
me.
doing? Good afternoon.
So, I really appreciate the work that you are doing for the community, and really just making sure that there is information and access to information that supports and allows people to make good decisions and learn
Yes.
about health topics. And as you mentioned, substance use is certainly one of these areas where, and mental health is one of these areas where we're finding, especially now, post COVID, and as we approach the holidays, and we said post COVID, we were talking about the shots as COVID persists, actually.
I know. I know.
That, it's certainly something that has been an issue. So I thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share some information with you. I think one of the things I wanted to first kind of start off with is just in some ways defining substance use, and deferring distinguishing the difference between dependence and abuse. And I'll do that
Okay.
very by distinguishing that when we say abuse is when we have persistent patterns that can sometimes cause problems for us, whereas dependence is where we have an inability to quit, and there have been attempts to quit, and those attempts have failed, and oftentimes there's also physiological responses. So when we think about physiological responses, we're thinking about like withdrawal symptoms, sickness, etc. And substance use is one of these, mental health conditions that, we consider co-occurring, which means that it doesn't usually come alone. It comes along with other conditions. The primary conditions we oftentimes see will be depression, anxiety, and PTSD. So when we think about the holidays and we want to conceptualize substance use, we also want to consider how mental health and mental health conditions intertwine with substance use. So that's kind of what I want to kind of put out there, is that we're just not looking at just the addiction. We're looking at probably some mental health in
Mm.
in response to, where the addiction is what we oftentimes observe
Hmm.
as a response to that mental health.
That's a really good point, and I'm glad that you clarified that. So it's not just the addiction, but it's another diagnosis that's connecting it, that is possibly causing the addiction, making it worse, or leading to it, or just connected to it. But it's not just addiction alone. It's another diagnosis there that may have not been diagnosed yet. So thank you for clarifying that. I wanted to just start by asking, why do we see an increase in um,
Mhm.
substance use around the holidays in general? Is there a specific reason?
Yes. Well, I think, for the people who don't have the predisposition for mental health or substance use. The holidays can be stressful anyway, right? So the stress from the holidays, whether it's from planning, coordinating, travel, it could be triggering for people due to like the presence of alcohol, drugs. It could be anxiety provoking. Sometimes during the holidays, we're getting to connect with family members or friends that we haven't seen in a while. And if we have social anxiety, that can actually be, triggering. We also realize that the holidays can be a very painful time when we consider situations like unresolved grief, or as you mentioned, isolation, those people who don't have a place to go, or who are feeling lonely during the holidays.
That makes a lot of sense. So it's those triggers that come up. G, did you have a question?
As far as the triggers, I mean, we talk about the holidays, so like we got Thanksgiving, of course, Christmas or whatever. It ties in with alcohol. Like people, the same way they go to the markets and different grocery stores or whatever, they go to the liquor store. So it's like, it's like a two-way street. Like when dealing with, as far as alcohol, it seems like it goes with the holidays.
Absolutely.
People even cook while drinking wine. They make sure they had a little sip of wine while they're cooking or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of hard to kind of get away from it. So, like for someone that's going through those issues, it definitely would, I could see where the trigger would be though.
You're 100% right about that. When we think about triggers, you mentioned an awesome observation, which is like celebrating, and the spirit of being in celebration is also in itself a trigger, right? We sometimes think that triggers have to be negative things, but triggers could be positive things, like coming together, wanting to enjoy. And socially, alcohol is one of the most widely accepted substances used, and when we think parties in our culture and in most cultures, we oftentimes think alcohol will be involved as well.
Mm-hmm.
What are some things that people can look for if they're concerned that their family member may have a substance use disorder? Are there any signs? And how can we be best supportive of that person?
Absolutely. Well, I think that, when we're going to look for substance use, we're probably going to look for an array of other signs, as you would say, symptoms, warning signs, red flags. Usually these red flags indicate that a person is not functioning at their baseline, right? So we know how they normally behave, and maybe they're not behaving the same way. So if a person is usually social, if a person usually, say they're going to come and then they show up, and then we start noticing that they're not showing up anymore. They might say they're going to come, but they're not, they don't follow through. They are, maybe if already, if family members or friends know that this individual has, a history of having challenges with substance use, and, you're asking about it and they're avoiding talking about it. They're avoiding talking about their mental health. Or maybe we might see an increase in symptoms, increase in fatigue, increase in sleeping, loss of appetite, changes in mood, more irritability, particularly for men. For women, increased sadness, increased anxiety. Any of these other symptoms that can be a part of that co-occurring condition can certainly be a trigger for alcohol use as well. And then outright just drinking. If we're observing that they're drinking more than usual during unusual times, more than we observed, then that itself is some feedback.
Thanks. Now,
No, I was going to say, as far as this might be a little off topic, but as far, you ever hear somebody say like the whole family drink, or they get it from that family, like, as far as like coping with that, what if you coming from like a social family that's like you're kind of put into the situation or you inherited these issues and problems? Like,
Oh man, that's a great question. But you know what you're touching on is the fact that we don't often talk about uh, what we could say are biopsychosocial factors, right? So these factors are our biology, right? Genetics. If we have family members who have substance use history, or family members who have mental health history, then we, may have, gotten from that side of the family. The social factors, which is what do we do as a culture, right? If the family culture is, for some people it's alcohol, and for other families it's cannabis, right? When the family, they get together, this do, and that's a part of, like, just as equally as breaking bread over the Thanksgiving table, this is a part of their process. So how do you break that? Well, I think the first part is, like, an individual has to identify for themselves what are their motivators, right? Are there reasons to quit? If there isn't a reason to quit, then one won't, right? Sometimes there are reasons to quit, but we don't consider them priority reasons to quit, right? So I honestly say, let's take a look at functionality. Let's take a look at whether or not, other people are saying things to you about it. And if they are, then you might want to consider that, as an experiment, you might advise to your family members that during this holiday, you're not going to drink. This is a time where I would recommend, BYOB, bring your own booze, bring your cocktail, something that is not a cocktail, a mocktail, something that you can exchange and replace, so that folks aren't like, what do you have in your cup, right? Long as you have your cup and you know which one's yours, you don't oftentimes have to drink what everyone else is drinking. One can make a decision to drink something differently, or different than others. And, to be honest, that you're trying to quit or trying to reduce, or just not today.
right. So willpower.
It's more than willpower. It's planning and preparation.
Copy. Okay.
Right? Because when I bring my own drink, when I bring my mocktail, what I've done is I've probably looked up a recipe. I've probably gone onto the grocery store and got my little mixers. Like, I've invested in it. I put it together. When I get there, now I've invested in it. I've made my mind. That's the beginning part, right? The second part is the follow through. And follow through also, oftentimes, because we're social beings, requires us letting someone else around us, even if it's one other person, a partner, a spouse, a significant other, a friend, a cousin that you can trust, like, like, I'm doing something different this time. So that's accountability.
Right.
For self.
Right. Okay.
Right. And then it's follow through. And if we're not successful, then we can problem solve. Let's take a look at what messed us up. Was it that one particular cousin? Is that the one that's always the one that's like, come on, let's go? Oh, yeah. Then we know that that's the person we look out for, and we problem solve around that.
Wow. Nice.
It's trial and error, truthfully.
All right. Great answer.
I love that. And I love the planning, the having a plan. I think that's been a theme for this year for the show, because when we started the show and started talking about changing our behaviors and trying to meet our goals, and how to do the things that we want to do and we want to see for our lives, Dr. Wall said at the beginning of the year, it's about planning, having a plan. And so we're going back to that. So if you know you're a person that tends to drink alcohol, especially when you get around people and friends and family, have a plan before you even get there. Take your own drink, take your own mocktail, non-alcoholic beverage, and drink from that. So you still have the cup, you still in the party, you still in the game, you still looking like you part of the scene, but you're not part of the scene. You're doing something for yourself to get your life together, to start taking some steps toward getting the thing that motivates you to live the life that you want to live. And so I think that's such a great idea. That's why you're here, Adavia. Dr. Adavia. That's why you're on today, because that was great.
Or not yet.
I got you. I know you coming. I know you coming with the doctorate. So we just gonna speak it right now and keep it moving. I know you got to go soon, but I wanted to ask for people who are looking for help, for people who want to get connected to some resources, or for families that are looking for help for their loved ones. Is there like a national hotline, or do we need to find something more local?
No, there's a national hotline. There are a couple, but I'm going to give you one hotline. I'm actually going to give you two hotlines. One is the suicide hotline, because suicide is real, and if we don't live another day, then we can't even get on top of our mental health and our substance use condition. And sometimes we hit such lows that it feels like we can't see another day. So I would definitely want to put that out there, that we want to make a big attempt for suicide prevention. So text 988 24/7, and somebody will respond, and they will support you, and they will even be able to link you to local resources for suicide or even mental health.
Can they call 988 too? So text or call, or is it just text?
That text. That would be a text. If they're looking for a number, I can get the number. Actually, it used to be a number. It's just a simple text now, but you can call it as well. Call or text 988. Same thing.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
And then the second one is the number to SAMHSA, which is the Substance Abuse Mental Health Service Administration. SAMHSA also has great resources because they're government funded, and they are evidence-based and provide really helpful information and resources. The number is 1-800-662-4357.
Can you put that up on the screen, Les? Could you repeat the number, Adavia?
Yes, that's 1-866. No, 1-800. Forgive me. 1-800-662-4357. 1-800-662-4357. And that is SAMHSA.
Wonderful resources. And for people that are in Delaware County, in the Philadelphia region, Community Care Behavioral Health can take care of you there. They were at the Healthier You conference. They had a table there. They set up and provided a lot of information. I think they are the preferred provider in the county for substance abuse or behavioral health or mental health. Community Care Behavior Health. Their website is ccbh.com. ccbh.com. You can get connected with them there. Well, thanks, Adavia. Thanks so much for coming on this show. Is there any last, remarks that you would like to share to anyone who may be struggling with addiction or their family members? What would you like to say?
Well, I would just say that let's be kind to each other, be gracious with one another. Where everyone has their struggles. We're all struggling. And oftentimes it's the substance use that gets the main, show in the family. So I think as families, if we can also be aware of the stigma that comes along with substance use and mental health, and the ways that we can reduce that so that our loved ones actually feel more inclined to seek us out for support.
Thank you so kind, much. Show love.
Yeah.
I love it. I appreciate Thanks
it.
so much for coming on today. I know you have a busy day. You squeeze this in. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. God bless.
Thank you, Adavia. Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye.
Gee, that was good. That was some good resources.
Yeah, good stuff.
I like that idea. Take your own drink to the party.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it too. And I also know someone like, they was battling addictions and they start having parties, but they would have a separate table. Like they would have non-alcoholic and then they would have alcoholic. So like you will be able to still, like you said, still be festive, still be a part of the scene or whatever, the celebration or the holiday, but it would be a separate location, a separate, I guess like drink for the people that don't drink. and it would still look like alcohol. It would be, you know, in the form of a wine bottle or something, but it would be a non-alcoholic beverage. But yeah, I know it plays more on a part, like as far as when you start to get older and health issues and certain things, it plays more of a part. I think it has a lot to do with like levels of your age and like different stages of your life as well. So you might want to do things less, especially drinking, you know, when you get your checkups, you know, certain things that you were doing detrimental to your body, you want to slow up. So drinking and smoking and all those other things. So.
Definitely. Well, this was the kickoff to our holiday series. We have a few more shows to close out this season, but I'm glad that we were able to kick it off just in time for Thanksgiving to give people something to think about, how they're going to manage the parties, the work parties, the office parties, you know, the family gatherings. Just try to do it in a little more healthier way.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we about around here. So everybody, thanks for tuning in today. We'll be back next week. Oh, next week is Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't gonna watch us next week. We're not gonna be here next week. You're gonna be out here shopping. I ain't gonna
I'm off, Doc. I'm off. Okay.
I ain't even gonna waste my time with y'all next week. We'll be back the week after Thanksgiving. I think we're going to be talking about grief on the holidays, or maybe some financial planning for the holidays. I can't remember, but it's going to be a good holiday show, getting everybody ready for the holiday season. Remember, it's not too late to get caught up on your COVID shots. A new vaccine came out in September. Let's get caught up. Let's not fall behind. Let's not be a statistic. Everybody just stay safe and stay protected out there.
And stay healthy.
Absolutely. All right, y'all.
All right.
I'm glad to hear you are protected, and thanks for being so honest here on Keeping It 100, because that's what we do.